Hi boys and girls, Ken Smith Fishing. Man, very eventful week for me down here at Rayburn. So let me just tease you with this to start with. Two things. I caught the 6th biggest fish of my life over this last couple days. And you're going to see in this fishing report me fishing out of 3 different boats. So as promised in a prior video, I am doing boat reviews, if you will. So basically I'm borrowing boats. I'm spending a day out fishing in them, filming them, picking through them, figuring out what I like, what I don't like. I'm kind of calling this the great 2020-2021 boat search, because my boat's got a lot of hours on it. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to go back in another Ranger? Do I want to go to another brand boat, to another dealership? Or do I want to stay with the boat I got now? There's nothing wrong with my boat now other than a few fit and finish things. It's a fine boat, and I'm just trying to work through that process. So I thought I would take you guys along on that process. So this is Tuesday. On Wednesday or Thursday, I'll post the first one of those. It's going to be the Bass Cat Puma Hybrid. If you don't know what that is, it's a 20-foot, 4-inch Bass Cat boat, but it's got a Champion 203 style hull underneath it. It's really interesting. So you got the quality of a Bass Cat, but you got the ride of a Champion. It's a 2-parter. I'm going to score them 1 to 100 with 20 points for contingency to get it to 120 for tournament fishing, contingency money. I think you're going to find this interesting. I'm already hooked doing it myself. So this week will be the Bass Cat Puma Hybrid. Next week will be the Charger 210 Elite, which is the boat Clinton Stacy run. The following week, I'm going to do my Ranger Z521c. Or 21c, excuse me. The following week, I'm doing a Phoenix, and you'll have to stay tuned to see what we do after that. So this is going to take 6 or 8 weeks. I've already got commitments to do a bunch of this stuff. But this week's fishing video, so most of our bites this week, and I didn't get to fish a lot. Most of the time I was boat riding and testing and hole shotting and wandering through boats and opening boxes, but I got to do a little bit of fishing. So let's start out with the couple of fish that Hank and I caught in the Bass Cat.
It happened in Kansas. You haven't heard that story? There he is.
Tiny.
That fish ain't.
No, he's about 6th grade maybe. Little spot.
It's a interior design retail store, and then we also do remodel and general construction. Hell yeah!
Well, the right species and the wrong length. So we've gone to a little hydrilla flipping, and that one wanted him some prawn. Well, you'd think I've never unhooked a fish before. Okay, so nothing real exciting there. Matter of fact, we caught a couple of drop shot fish I didn't even stick in there. That one little flipping fish I caught, nothing too terribly exciting. The next day, I go out, and if you remember the video where I fished with Kevin where he was fishing big stumps, I told you it kind of changed the way I was fishing. And I've always done this, and I've not talked about it. Hey, Stell, I've not talked about it. Look at here. Online or on a video before, but everybody fishes brush piles, and a lot of guys come to find out fish great big stumps. But something everybody does if you're going down the bank, if you see a laydown, you stop and you flip on that laydown. And something I have always done is when I see a laydown out deep, and there's only 2 ways to see a laydown out deep, right? Well, I guess 3 ways now. You either see them on your side imaging, which you can see them real easy. You see them on a 360 imaging, which you can see them pretty easy. Or you see them on a Garmin Live Scope. Well, I have Gen 2 360 imaging, and I can see blobs and stuff. I cannot honestly say I've ever seen an individual fish on my 360 and caught of any size. I've caught, you know, that looks like a fish, pitch over and get bit. Clint's got the Gen 3 360 imaging. And I'm going along, and I look down, and there's a giant laydown, and I've got the boat positioned. I can see the laydown, I can see the root ball, and I can see a dot next to that root ball. Now, by the way, this footage is messed up, so I don't get excited real often in a boat. And that's kind of something I've prided myself in tournament fishing is I don't get real excited, and I don't lose a lot of fish because I kind of keep my head about me. After I caught this fish, you may be able to see my hands are shaking. When she went by under the boat, I knew it was a pretty good sized fish. I thought it was a 6 or 7 pound fish. When I got my hand on her and just kept pulling her out of the water, I realized I'd caught something special. I got so excited. The way I run my GoPros, I run them on 5-minute loops. So every 5 minutes, if I don't manually stop it or say GoPro stop recording, it will erase and tape over that last 5 minutes. I got so excited when I caught this fish. I stuck her in a live well. I called Clint to see if they had scales in the boat, and I erased the footage. And I was literally sick to my stomach that I had caught this fish. By the way, the fish weighs. Let's watch it real quick. Bigger ones I've ever caught here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I gotta get that fish in the live well. Oh my gosh. What a fish. Oh man, okay, first thing, drop a waypoint on that. 1031. She weighs 1031. Well, there you go, Charger Bob 10 pounder. Yeah, that definitely gets bonus points. But I caught that fish on that little blues mag jig rod. Sorry, I'm a little excited. TP1HA that you know guys I know I like. 1/2 ounce tungsten, 6 cents tungsten weight. I'm sorry I'm all over the place. 4/0 hook and an 8.5 inch wild fang worm in
excitement.
Fish weighed 1031. Needless to say, I got footage. And I guess at some point in all that excitement, I was smart enough to stop that back camera. I did not stop the front camera. I have no footage off that front camera. You see, I hold it up to the front camera thinking I'm recording it, and I didn't. But I'm so thankful to the good Lord above that he let me have that back footage of that fish. You heard me. I'm so excited. 1031. So I've caught 7 fish in my life over 10 pounds, and I had a 915. Caught 4 of those fish out of Fork back in the 90s. Actually, 3 of them within about a 2-week period. I caught an 1160 in a tournament at Chambers, and I've caught 2 now over 10 at Rayburn. And this is the 6th of those biggest fish. So it was just an amazing experience. But what was really amazing is I saw that fish and I pitched to that fish. And what it made me realize is I am at a disadvantage with my electronics. So I've already been talking to the guys with Jones Trolling Motor up in Texarkana. You've heard me refer to Michael Yoder before. And we will be upgrading my electronics in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be away for a week, but when we come back, we're upgrading me significantly because there's no sense in being at a disadvantage when you got this much money tied up in a bass boat and gear and somebody else has better technology than you. So I'm upgrading, and you'll see what I'm going to real soon. So then the last day today, I went out and I decided and by the way, I only fished for 30 minutes. So, and I got some, I don't think I showed it to you. I got some good footage to show you exactly what that looked like on another laydown I found just a little bit later. So let's check that out. So I want to share something with you. I caught that giant a little while ago, and I've just seen another piece of structure that looks identical to it. It's a little bit deeper, but I thought it's a good idea to share this with you. So a lot of guys fish brush piles, great, and I do too. And if you go back to that video, I'll post at the top up there where I fished with Kevin and I fished, and we were fishing giant stumps, which is something he likes to do at Toledo. One of the things that I like to do, especially in areas where there's not a ton of them, is fish big, deep laydowns. Now, everybody knows you're going down the bank and you see a laydown. Fish like getting up onto those laydowns. Everybody loves pitching a spinnerbait, a square bill, or a worm up there next to it, or a Senko. But out here deep, these fish love that overhead cover just as much, especially those great big fish, because they can get up onto that stuff and it's just a comfortable place for them to be. So the 360 imaging is, and I know I probably got a glare there, but I'm hoping you guys can see that. So there's a pair of them. Let me see if I can block it. There we go. There's a pair of them right there, and I've got the boat right in front of them. That is ideal. What I saw earlier was I saw one just like that, and you can see the shadow. That is the root ball, and I saw a dot right off the edge of that root ball, and I pitched that big worm over there, and that 10-pounder swam off with it. So that's exactly the kind of stuff that you want to look for. Isolated stuff probably doesn't get beat on near as much as brush piles. Now, if there were 50 of them out here, I'm less interested in them. But when I can find them out there random by themselves, I love that. That's beautiful. Boy, you can see a really good root ball right there. That's something you definitely want to fish when you see it with your either with your Humminbird side imaging, or your 360 imaging, or with your Garmin, with your live scope. You can see that as well. But today I went out and I just told myself I want to get better with a drop shot. I saw Hank catch a bunch of, they were little fish, but then I watched the St. Clair, the Erie tournament this week, and I am not proficient with a drop shot. So I thought, I'm going to practice with a drop shot. Now, it's super tough down here right now. 19 pounds won a tournament, which is unheard of at Rayburn. I mean, when the winning stringer doesn't start with a 2 or a 3, it's tough, and it's got slick, and when that wind lays down and it's this hot, it's hard to get bit. But you'll see I got out real deep, and I caught a couple of decent fish, and I jumped a good fish off on a drop shot. So I did that for a little bit today. Let's check out that footage. Drop shot. Pretty nice little old chunk. I don't know how much you trust these little hooks. I don't trust them much. Goodness. He is not done. Fish is in 30 feet of water. Come here. I'm to my leader. He's not done. Look at there. Yes, I used a robo worm. I think that's what those are called, yeah. That's a chunk. That's a nice little fish right there. Way down there deep, 30 feet of water. Whoo, that's fun. Just all of a sudden it tightened up and moved off with it. Another nice chunk out there. About 10 minutes later. Another nice chunk. Trust boat flipping them on that white line. Just sometime we're even better fish. Oh, he come off. That's about a 3-pounder. That's why you do it in practice. Of course, we'd have netted that fish. That was a 3-pound class fish. That was a nice little fish. Should have good video on it in the back. We are sitting in 32 feet of water. See, I'm out here deep. I'm throwing up into maybe 24 feet of water, but I'm out here deep. And that bite was out here under the boat. That fish was probably in at least 30 feet of water. So some pretty deep bites out here right now. Now the last thing, I did poke around a little bit for you open guys coming down here. I wanted to show you where some grass is. So this first little bit of footage, well, you saw the grass and beach, and then I stuck my nose in one of the unnamed pockets, and I can't remember now which one it was, behind the forest. So on the south bank and behind the forest on the Caney side of the lake, and there's some pretty grass in there. You'll see it right here. You can see we're just starting to pick up the high dilla right there in, let's say, 8 feet. And then you can see it's matted up there. I'm curious now that I say that. I believe that's hydrilla. I don't think that's milfoil, but I'll run you up here and just give you a quick look. Try to help you guys eliminate a little bit of water. Pads in the back of that pocket, interestingly. Yep, that's hydrilla, for sure. And boy, you can see, if that water cools off at all, there might be a really good swim jig, swim bait, square bill crankbait bite. Bring your 6-cent square bills up over the top of that grass. It's topping out about 4 feet out there, 3.5, 4 feet off the below the surface. And boy, that's going to be ideal if the water cools up enough for you guys to be able to fish that stuff. So as I say in that clip, we get a little bit of cooler weather and you open guys, it could be on up over that grass. It is not right now. It's hard to get bit anywhere right now, but it's especially hard to get bit shallow. I have not heard of much of a frog bite. I've heard in the evening tournaments there's a frog bite a little bit, so there might be a little bit of one early, but it's tough right now. I mean, I've talked to a bunch of guys who are not catching much at all. Even the crappie guys are struggling a little bit. So that's my fishing report this week. You got to check out these boat review videos I'm doing. If you got buddies looking for a boat, please share them. I think you're really going to enjoy them. Even if you're not in the market to buy a boat right now, I'm going to show you what's new, what's different, what's kind of old hat, how things ride, how boats are set up. I think you're really going to enjoy it because I'm certainly enjoy doing it. So thanks for tuning in. As I said in a prior video, if you got a boat, you saw it, you're going to see in this first video, either Wednesday or Thursday, I talk about the boats I want to fish out of. If you think got something else you think I ought to fish out of, post it in the comments below. And I'll be glad to look in if you can help me find one. I don't want to drive new boats. Really, the only new boat I'm going to drive, if I can help it, is that Puma. I want to drive boats that guys have run around quite a bit in to kind of see how they're holding up. There's just not any of those boats in the market, so I really had to take out a new one. So anyway, I'll quit yanking. You guys can get back to what you're doing, but tune back in. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe and click the bell, and then you'll get notifications when I post every one of these videos every week. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to give you a lot of videos over the next few weeks. See you soon.